Imagine, you have just awakened in a hospital, and the doctor slowly enters the room to explain that you have just woken from a coma. The look in his eyes tells you that there's more news to follow. The drugs given to you while unconscious have caused complications to your pregnancy. You've suffered a severe placental abruption, and not only is the baby's life at risk, but also your own. The best doctor in the area later tells you that an abortion is the only way to save your life, and advises you to terminate the pregnancy to ensure you'll live to take care of your other children. The scenario I just described was a reality for Pam Tebow back in 1987 when she was pregnant with her 5th child. Instead of taking the doctor's advice, she refused an abortion and prayed to God for his will to be done. Months later, she gave birth to a malnourished but otherwise healthy baby boy. The child grew into the famous athlete whose name is known worldwide today, Tim Tebow. Today, I'd like to pay a tribute to Tim Tebow. In this speech, I will celebrate his accomplishments. First, I will give a brief history over his childhood and share with you some of the awards and achievements from high school to present day. Then I'll inform you of some of his personal beliefs and drive to serve others. And finally, I will speak of how Tim has influenced me and how his story has both inspired and challenged me as a person. 27 years after his miraculous birth, Tim Tebow holds the same Christian values to heart as his mother, who saved his life. Growing up in the Philippines, Tim was the son of Baptist missionaries who instilled firm Christian beliefs in him from a young age. When he was 3 years old, Tim's family moved back to Florida, where Pam homeschooled all her children. Spending so much one-on-one time with them led her to play a big part in rounding Tim into who he is today. In spite of being homeschooled, sports were still a huge part of Tim, and at age 5, he was already playing alongside his older brothers. Although he did not attend class there, he participated in sports in the athletic program at Nice High School and dedicated himself to basketball, baseball, and football. During these years, he was recognized as the Elite 11 quarterback and was broadcasted on ESPN. Tim set numerous records, which allowed him to be noticed by the media. After high school, he decided to further his education at the University of Florida, where he played football for 4 years. While playing for the Gators, he was the first underclassman to receive the Heisman Trophy back in 2007. He also stayed busy with academics and graduated with high honors, in addition to the weekly Bible studies he would lead for other students. In the first round of the NFL draft in 2010, Tim was selected by the Denver Broncos and played at quarterback. After being cut in the off-season, he endured several years of being cut and redrafted by the Jets, Patriots, and was recently drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles. The athletic abilities of this famous athlete are no secret. However, Tim remains humble in spite of all the national attention he has received. Tim Tebow's father, Bob Tebow, once said, "You can be well educated in the world's eyes and still be a sorry person. You can graduate with degrees and have no character. Character defines who you are." You see, Tim chooses to live his life, or to not live his life by the world's definition of success. Upon his achievements, he gives credit to the Lord, his family, coaches, and teammates for his success. While football is a very big part of his life, his top priorities are faith and family. He quotes the verse Philippians 4:13 frequently, which reads, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." He credits God as his true source of strength. While playing college football, he promoted this verse on the eye black of his cheeks, and the following day, there were 90 million Google searches of that verse. By promoting this, he turned the fame given to him into glory for God's name. Tim is a missionary at heart. Mission work was important to all the Tebows while growing up, and in the summers, they would frequently return to the Philippines. In 2014, Tim partnered with Cure to open a hospital there. He is also a favorite choice among Make-A-Wish Foundation and emphasizes serving others. Personally, I look to Tim Tebow as one of my greatest role models. I attended a Broncos game at Mile High Stadium back in 2011, where he started as quarterback. Throughout the game, I saw him fall to one knee and talk to God just as if it were the most natural thing in the world. When I returned home, I began to research him, bought his book, and did various presentations over his life. Perhaps the event that was the most meaningful to me took place a few weeks ago when he was the guest speaker at the FCA-sponsored Night of Champions. He briefly spoke on things I touched earlier, but he spent a significant part of the night encouraging the body of Christian believers in front of him to be bold. He shared personal experiences where he was afraid of what the world may think of him, but left us with a very profound thought. We cannot base our success on what the world thinks of us. The same year he started as a quarterback for the NFL, he was released from the NFL. So, by the world's definition, was he a failure? You see, if we base our self-worth by what the rest of the world is telling us, we'll never be satisfied. However, if we base our worth on what we can do for others and how we can bring glory to God, then we will never face discontent. Although I have never personally met Tim Tebow, he has taught me that anyone can have success in some aspect of their life, no matter what other influences tell you. In this speech, I've shared various facts of the well-known athletic star Tim Tebow. I supplied a brief history over his childhood and accomplishments throughout his prime years as an athlete, his personal Christian beliefs and desire to serve others, and shared what his life means to me. This man has been an example not only to athletes of all ages, but also to people yearning for a life worth living. Although some may perceive his life to be one of great fame and success, his story serves as proof that we can choose how we want to go about living the game of life. Tim did not come into this world as a famous celebrity idolized by Christians and sports fans alike. Rather, he began his journey as a small, malnourished boy of the Philippines. Congratulations, Tim Tebow, for your accomplishments both on and off of the football field. Now I'd like to ask you, what do you consider success? And more importantly, what is your story of success?